Hello, hello, hello. We're feeling stronger every Thursday. It's your faithful friend Phil here with Accountability and Alliteration Thursday. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope your chops are blowing up. We are going to go back into the NARD book today, the old faithful NARD book, with a solo called Omaha. It's Peyton Manning's favorite solo, but I digress. Couple of new things coming up this week. One, this solo that we're going to perform is going to be our first solo that is in 6/8 time. Now, I want to make one quick clarification with this. Virtually all of these traditional rudimental solos that are written in 6/8 are actually felt in 2/4. Now, what I mean by that is we're going to get a strong pulse of 2, but have a triplet feel that's going to be played. Now, that works to our advantage by writing this in 6/8, simply from the standpoint that we as readers, we don't have to interpret all the triplets and all of the triplet brackets with the number 3s and all that stuff. We just see them as eighth notes. It also just cleans up the page and makes it look better. So we're not going to feel this in like a very strict 6/8. It's really a 2/4 triplet based style solo. Now, the other thing I want to bring to your attention is, unlike virtually all of our other solos, this author has a very dedicated tempo marking. He wants to interpret this at dotted quarter equals 128. Now, we know from our previous solos that we have a general range that we normally like to play in. For example, when we're in just a duple meter and a 2/4 meter, we normally interpret any of these traditional rudimental solos between 90 and 110 BPM. You got a little bit of leeway on those depending on how you want the thing to feel and how you want it to sound. Not so in this case. We want to try to go with dotted quarter equals 128 for our finishing tempo. Another thing that's just a tad bit different on this one is he's very specific with his dynamic markings. We know once again that if we're interpreting a traditional rudimental solo with no markings, all of our regular notes without accents are just interpreted at a forte volume level, with our accents being double forte. Well, in this solo, he very specifically says we're going to interpret this entire thing double forte, and then there's some sections that are pianissimo or double piano. Now, with that in mind, you will see in the video, which we will talk about again here in a few moments, that we want to have very different and very particular stick heights on these. You want to make sure that your double forte notes are thrown from a very high stick height so that you don't have to muscle those notes too much and make them sound forced and out of character. Likewise, when we do our pianissimo notes, you want to have those from a very, very short distance from the playing surface, and you want to drop those notes so you don't have to over-control them and potentially miss those very soft notes. So keep that in mind from a technical standpoint when you are working on this. The last thing I want to mention is this is a very repetitive rhythmic solo. There's not a lot of rhythmic variation and differentiation in this. So these dynamics are absolutely crucial to provide some musicality and just general interest to this solo, since it's sort of a plain solo. So again, from the get-go, even when you're working on this at a slower than our normal performance tempo, make sure you observe the dynamics from the beginning. Don't fall for that old trap of like, oh, I'm just going to get the notes under my hand, then I'll go back and put the dynamics on there. If you do that, you're learning that solo twice. You want to learn it once from the get-go by using the dynamics at a slower tempo so your ear will get used to hearing it correctly. All right, before we listen to this solo, I want you to make sure that you look at our show notes for this episode, and there you'll find a YouTube link where you can view the sheet music and then see a performance of the solo. After you check that out, and then after you practice your solo, I want you to feel free to be interactive with us. Post your own video on your favorite mode of social media, and then tag the show in your description. All right, without any further ado, let's take a listen to Omaha. look forward to seeing and hearing your videos once you get Omaha practiced and uploaded to your favorite form of social media. If you have any questions, make sure you go over to our website. We are at www.drummersweeklygroovecast.com. There you can access all of our feature episodes, which come out every Monday. You can also get all of our Accountability Thursday mini episodes there, as well as view our videos that we have for Accountability Thursday and our host spotlight features. You can also interact with us with social media. All of our social media credentials are on there. You can visit our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our Twitter page. And as always, we love it when you stay in contact with us. You can get in touch with us through our email address and contact form there on the page. We love your comments, questions, and suggestions. One last thing before we listen to our final performance of Omaha. If you are an iTunes subscriber, or even if you're not an iTunes subscriber but have an iTunes account, we would greatly appreciate the next time you log in to swing by the Drummers Weekly Groovecast page inside of iTunes and leave us a 5-star written review. It greatly helps us reach other new listeners who are looking for drumming and music podcasts. And that's going to do it. We thank you as always for being a loyal listener and subscriber to the podcast. We will see you every Monday with a brand new feature episode, and then the first and third Thursdays of every month with our Practice Accountability Thursdays. All right, until next time, this is Phil, and here is Omaha.